Hey guys, what's up? This is Morgan, head astrologer over at morganledinsights.com and the Insiders Club. Welcome back to your weekly astrology forecast. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing the weekly energies for April 26th until Sunday, May 2nd. So we are going to be wrapping up the monthly April energies and introducing the astrology for May in this video. Now, there are a couple things that I want to go ahead and point out for you before we even start. We are in full moon week. The full moon in Scorpio will be reaching its peak at around 7 degrees Libra on April 26th at around 11:30 p.m. So this is a heightened week. Anytime we are in a full moon week, there are a lot of energies, there is a lot of breakdowns, there are a lot of breakthroughs. Things are very heightened. On the front aspect, on the front spectrum of the full moon, there's a lot of heightened energy, especially with this full moon being in Scorpio. Anytime the moon is in Scorpio, anytime there is some sort of lunar aspect, especially with the sun and Taurus opposing the moon in Scorpio, there is more emotional intensity, there's more sensitivity to sound, to feelings, to emotion, to sex, to money. Everything is heightened, and we experience it on a more penetrative level. So you're going deeper, you take things deeper, you take things more seriously. There's more determination, there's no more grit, there's more hunger to ascend, to transform, to develop, to be recognized. There is a lot of self-empowerment, self-discipline, and self-improvement that always comes up around the full moon in Scorpio, really wanting to commit wholeheartedly, to dive head first into your transformation. But with Uranus and the placements in Aquarius, so much fixed energy challenging these this Scorpio full moon placement, there is going to be some patience that is required with this full moon. So yes, this is an excellent time. This is a super moon. So this is an excellent week to become clarified about what is blocking you, what is in your way, and how you are really ready to release it and move beyond it, and what you were ready to receive. This is always an excellent time to be clear about what it is that you are looking to receive, what it means to reciprocity means for you. So there's a lot of that energy as well happening this week. And then on the 27th, we're going to see Pluto leave its direct station and station retrograde. So Pluto will be retrograde in Capricorn, I believe until October 6th. 2021. So we will talk about that on the Tuesday daily forecast. And then this week we also will see the sun. I believe it is on the Friday the 30th. We will see the sun conjunct Uranus, and we're also going to see a Mercury sextile. This is really positive. It's happening at the 22nd degree of Capricorn, so you can really start to move ahead when it comes to business ideas, business plans, anything like that. There is this sense of completion. There is this sense of completing a structure, or finally being able to put structure around something that you had a hard time conceptualizing, or something that was an idea, something that was a dream, being able to really formulate that into physical, tangible form. Actually having a physical product, or creating a physical product, or creating something that they can experience in the physical is going to start to come about around the 30th. So just be mindful of that. Some really positive, happy changes are going to be coming about. The moon will actually be in Capricorn around this time. So that is super positive as well. Now, May 1st, we will also see some aspects with the moon in Capricorn, so we'll talk about that. Remember, guys, I did the work, and I have all of the lunar aspects for you as well. And then on the 2nd, you see Mercury moving towards its final stations in May, and it's going to trine Pluto before it moves into Gemini on May 3rd. So Mercury is coming into some favorable aspects with this final transit. So this should be a really good weekend to wrap things up, to start to see things come into completion. This is kind of a completion week where something is being wrapped up. This has a lot to do too with the numerology. I don't know if people follow the numerology, but the numerology for April was a 9-month universally. So anytime we're in a 9-month universally, this is always a period of completion, and May is literally a new cycle for the collective. So there are going to be lots of new beginnings and just opportunities to expand on whatever it is that you started in April. So be mindful of what you were completing in April. Make sure this weekend that you were just kind of tying up loose ends, and that you were kind of handling your business, just because the moon is in Capricorn. So just handling anything that needs to be handled. There may be issues with family, just because the moon is going to oppose at some point Mars in Cancer. So you may be trying to balance. A lot of people are going to be trying to balance responsibility with leisure and comfort and domestic responsibility. So just be gracious with yourself. Really, just overall, what I found, like just on like me trying to film the freaking weekly forecast 20 times on Monday and just running into all these blockages, is just simplifying. Like when things start to get overwhelming, when things start to feel like, you're taking on too much, it's simplifying. You can always simplify, you can always scale back. So sometimes a lot of people are going to find more luxury in having less. You find that you can do more by acquiring less, or being very specific about the quality of what it is that you're acquiring, or the quality of work that it is that you're producing. Maybe you don't have to produce as much, but you need to produce at a certain quality. So being aware of what these observations around the full moon in Scorpio is going to be bringing, because it's happening at that 7th degree point of Libra. There is this strong sense of balance that is necessary when it comes to our undertakings. You get what I'm saying? The full moon in Libra was at the 8th degree of Scorpio, and the full moon in Scorpio was at the great 8th degree point of Libra. So for me, there is a sense of balance and transformation, where some people are realizing where they may have been stuck, where they have been feeling a little scattered, and now they're wanting to put all their eggs in one basket. And that's great, that's fine, that's dandy. You're probably moving in the right direction, but sometimes you can drown yourself when you just go dive headfirst into the wave and you don't know how to swim. So for a lot of people, this full moon in Scorpio is really clarifying what it is that you actually want, what it is that you actually need, and most importantly, what your values are, and what your expectations are for self and wanting to care for self. So let's go ahead and dive into each daily forecast, guys. And as always, make sure you are utilizing the timestamps. If you want access to the monthly insights calendar, you can find that on the Morgan Led Insiders Club. The Insiders Club is exclusive membership community for those who are wanting to connect with me deeper one-on-one. It's also a really excellent way to support the work. You get access to exclusive videos, monthly live streams, and astrology lessons. So anything that is posted, for the membership community, you have access to it with your membership. And it also really helps me, guys, just in keeping me able to produce these videos. It takes a lot of time and energy to do these videos. So if you want to find a way to support the work and you're not interested in doing a one-time love donation, please consider becoming an Insights Club member, so you can help me continue to make these videos, because they are not easy. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and dive in. I always suggest that you are coming back every day and watching the daily horoscope for that day, utilizing the time stamps, because when you watch it at one time, it's very overwhelming and we forget things. So come back in the morning, skim through, hit the highlight points of what's going on for the day, and yeah, just leave it like that. So Monday, April 26th is an interesting day. The moon is going to be waxing through the later degrees of Libra. So we'll see in the morning, the moon in Libra is actually going to square Pluto in Capricorn. So in your house of Libra, for me, this was my first and my fourth house. So like yesterday, I cannot do anything at home. I got nothing freaking done, and it bothered me like crazy. But a lot of people are going to find that, like, when it comes to relationships, or when it comes to work, or just overall, there is a sense of imbalance and feeling drained, coming out of that, where you may have overcompensated, or especially when it comes to like your earnings and things like that, where you may feel like you undercharged, or you are ready to start to make some changes in regards to your relationship. Some people are going through some transformations in terms of their physical appearance, but overall, this is really just going down to like your aesthetics. I think a lot of people are starting to become very aware of their aesthetics, just because this is occurring at the 26th degree point of Taurus. So there's a lot of Taurus energy already in the air. So now you may be thinking about your house of Taurus, or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, from a sense of appearances. So a lot of people can be putting a lot of pressure on themselves today to be able to uphold an appearance. It may not actually be something that is fundamental to you. So again, just paying attention and being honest with yourself and asking yourself, like, am I doing this because I need to? Am I doing this because I want to? Or am I doing this because of the way that it appears? So that's an easy way to kind of work through this moon in Libra square Pluto Capricorn transit, is letting go of whatever is unnecessary, whatever tasks, whatever relationships, whatever conversations, whatever is unnecessary to whatever it is that you're trying to achieve that morning. You just need to wake up that morning and simplify. This is the morning of simplification. It's a full moon day, so the energy is already heightened. So just be mindful of that. Now, around 8:37 a.m., the moon in Libra will trine in it will trine Jupiter in Aquarius. So there is an opportunity to kind of get some growth, to feel some sort of expansion, to be able to connect with someone, to connect with the group, to be able to connect one-on-one with the client, to be able to connect with someone, communications, writing, publishing, putting something out there, just because this is happening at the 27th degree point of Gemini. So this would be a really good time to check in with your tribe, to host a meeting, to send out a proposal, or to send out a reminder, something that you've already submitted, something that you've already applied for, just kind of sending out a reminder saying, hey, I put in my application. I just want to double back with you. This is a really good time to just kind of check in on people. Now, the moon is going to station void, of course, right after that until 12:19 p.m. And then there's not another aspect with the moon until the moon in Scorpio actually trines Mars in Cancer. So the afternoon, Monday afternoon, is going to be the best time to get any work done on Monday, just because the moon, your emotions are in alignment with your behaviors in Cancer. So they're in a trine. So things can be done a lot easier. This is going to be a period where things flow a little bit, but just be mindful, like around 6 o'clock, things are going to start to get hectic again, just because we're moving closer and closer to that full moon opposition between the sun and the moon in Scorpio and Taurus. So just be mindful of that. And then at 11:31 p.m., the full moon in Scorpio is going to reach its peak. So this is where the sun and the moon are going to align and oppose each other exact. So again, this is showing us, guys, where we are wanting to upgrade, where we are wanting to enhance, where we are wanting to really bring balance to our needs, and bringing balance to our sexuality, bringing balance to our earnings. For some people, this is where you work a lot. You're always working, you're always earning money, not really being able to enjoy it, right? When we think about Libra, we think about balance, and we also think about the planetary essence of the degree of Libra. And this is someone who wants to experience luxury, and someone who wants to experience pleasure and sensuality. And so this is you wanting to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You're really wanting to enjoy what it is that you've acquired. So it's super important for you to, I don't know why it's lagging, guys. It's super important for you during this period to just be honest about what it is that you are wanting to bring more balance into, and more pleasure into, and more intimacy into, and having more time. For a lot of people, Saturn and Jupiter right now are really just Saturn is closest to this aspect. And so there is a sense of timing, you know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, it's going to be feeling like I don't have enough hours in the day, or, I don't have enough resources, or being able to capitalize. Right now, what people are starting to find is your greatest resource is other people. You know what I'm saying? Human labor right now is the greatest resource that there is. And so you starting to see where you are supported and where you may need more support, where there is a lack of support, where there is a lack of understanding, where there is a lack of self-control, where there is a lack of time management. You're starting to experience that. And so this is, helping you see where you may not give to yourself as much as you should. You may be giving to your others, or you may be giving so deeply to your work that you are forgetting to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. And so as much as this is about self-empowerment and self-discipline and self-control, with this being at that 7th degree point of Libra, there is also this sense of balance. And for me too, when I think about this, I think about balance between the physical and the spiritual world, where some people are very used to, people who are used to getting money, who are used to manifesting material things in the physical, this is going to be a period where you like probably see an overabundance of physical, and you're starting to see where that overabundance of assets in the physical is actually depleting you, or you don't have a sense of connection or source to the spiritual realms. And so you are going to be feeling this full moon as an opportunity to find a balance between the physical and the spiritual. How can you take your ability to manifest in the physical and really start to connect to that in a spiritual sense? On the other end of the spectrum, there are going to be those who are extremely spiritual, who have an intense connection with the divine, but have a very hard time grounding that in the practical world, grounding that tangibility, grounding that sustainability in the real world, something that can be touched. Do you feel it in the spirit? Everybody knows that you're rich in the spirit, but you may be poor as hell in earth. And if that's your MO, cool, but I don't know nobody that want to be poor. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to learn how to bridge the gap. And so for some people, it's going to be through educating yourself. You know what I'm saying? I think people forget that Scorpio is all about resource and research and finding things at its depth. And Taurus is very much about pragmatic things and doing things repetitively over and over and over and over. It's the bull. It's going to continuously, slowly until it tires you out. The bull keeps going. It will tire you out. So for some people, this is going to be an opportunity where you are learning how to find pleasure in repetition. Finding simplicity in repetition, and also finding luxury in the intimate things that you do on a daily basis. Finding ways to glamorize the simple things in life. And we're going to have to do that because for a lot of people, you have to get creative, right? Uranus is here. As much as we are manifesting and attracting these resources of abundance and prosperity, we also need, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm not gonna give you this hocus pocus. Okay. So there's also this sense of Uranus also reminding you too, like, you need to radicalize the way that you utilize your resources. So you're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to start making your own clothes. You're going to have to start growing your own foods. You're going to have to start, buying with different types of designers, non-name brand designers, everyday people who just have very creative, unique, one-of-a-kind ideas. We are going to have to simplify what luxury and what prosperity and things like that look like. And that doesn't mean you have to dumb down your goals. If anything, you can expand your goals, but it's understanding the process needs to be simplified. It's not necessarily the long-term goal. It's the long-term, the reward, of course, is always realistic. But like when it comes to the process and to the path, what's going to take you there, that's where a lot of people are having to simplify and practice patience with themselves. Like, it's one thing to know your worth and to be deserving of your worth, but to be willing to wait for it and to be willing to fight for it and to be willing to negotiate for it and to be willing to stand for it is going to be something completely different. Staying grounded, staying rooted in that so that you have like planting seeds of nourishment, right? Because around the Taurus new moon, that is going to be your opportunity to really start to plant the seeds that will grow to support this full moon in Scorpio. So paying attention to what is being revealed to you during this full moon is super crucial because it's going to really help you not only when we're moving into eclipse season in May with the total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius at the end of the month, but there is also this sense of Mercury retrograde that is going to be coming in, and it's going to be happening. And we want to be honest with ourselves about the connections that we need to make and the way that we communicate to be able to express these ideas so that we can have the response and the engagement that we would like, or the flexibility, the financial flexibility and the financial freedom to move the way that we would like. So pay attention to that, guys, for the 26th. Now, on April 27th, we are going to see Pluto station retrograde in Capricorn at 4:02 p.m. And this is going to be happening at that 26-degree point. So with Pluto stationing retrograde, anytime we talk about Pluto, we're talking about the planet of our psyche and our subconscious. And Pluto is all about the underworld, and it works on a very subtle energetic plane. And so with Pluto being retrograde in Capricorn, there's a lot of focus on our structure, really reviewing and evaluating the structure. And with this happening at that 26-degree point, which is ruled by Taurus, there's a huge focus on our finances, but not just on our finances, but how we're funding something, how we're investing something. People are going to be revisiting their business plans. They're going to be revisiting their long-term budget. They're going to be revisiting their relationship with professional institutions. This is going to be an opportunity for banks. There may be some changes happening in terms of the finance world. Banks may be closing, banks may be merging, banks may be becoming, more digital, more online, just be digitalized, just because of Pluto preparing to move into Aquarius in 2023. So there is this strong focus on simplifying, even when it comes to how we handleize our processes, like behind the scenes, taxations and things like that. People are going to be looking for simplified systems to really just make life more manageable. And that's what Pluto retrograde, this Capricorn period, is really kind of asking you to do, is figuring out ways to make life more manageable, into putting more structure around your life, and to again finding, there's this deep love of repetition that I think a lot of people are going to start to be moving into, something that like the most successful people have been preaching for years. But this is definitely a period where you are wanting, definitely going to be paying attention to how you are investing in things like that behind the scenes. Some changes to the investment world are definitely going to be coming up as we move through this Pluto retrograde period. Now, on in terms of the moon aspects, on the 27th, the moon in Scorpio is going to oppose Uranus in Taurus at 4:51 a.m. on the 27th. So people could be kind of waking up, if you are early bird like me. You could be waking up and feeling a little off. It may take more time for you to just like get into your groove. The moon in Scorpio is also going to square Saturn in Aquarius at around 8:46 a.m. So there's definitely a lot of tension. There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of blockages Tuesday morning that you kind of have to work through. So the best time, there's kind of like a time window between like 6 and 8. So paying like really like 6 and 7, which is like the time frame that I'm recording this video, because that was the only time that I could see y'all a break. So definitely paying attention, having this calendar is super helpful, because when I woke up at 4:30, my mindset was not there. But like right around 6 o'clock, I was able to kind of hop into the flow that I needed to get this video out. So that's why I'm kind of trying to move fast so we can be done before 8 o'clock, because I don't want to get caught up in that moon in Scorpio square Saturn smoke. Later on this afternoon, the moon in Scorpio is also going to oppose Venus in Taurus. So there could be some issues in terms of a payment. This is at the 16th degree of Cancer. So this could be something regarding your home, something regarding your children, something regarding your short-term security, having to pay an expense, needing to have a discussion with your partner about expenses, or having a discussion with your partner about responsibilities or needs, sexuality, anything like that, may be happening around 1:35 p.m. So just be mindful that people are feeling very intense, very sensitive, and very moody. And there's more of a response to react, just because this is happening at that 16th degree point of Cancer around. So this is a touchy day. Like, this is not the best day, guys, when it just comes to work and things like that. The 27th is a day to keep to yourself. It's a day to really just keep things simple, and only focus on your priorities. Wake up in the morning, identify your 2 to 3 priorities for the day, and that is it. And if possible, work alone. This is not the time where you want to be meeting with your team members and meeting with different groups and working with clients and things like that. This is a period where you really want to be focusing on yourself. Because again, this afternoon we'll see the moon in Scorpio oppose Mercury in Taurus at the 17th degree point of Leo. So people may be having clashing ideas about their individuality. There may just be some personality clashes during this period. So just be mindful that today is a moody day, and people are feeling very sensitive. People are thinking very impulsively. Just be mindful of any expenses that you may be having right now. The moon in Scorpio will trine Neptune in Pisces tonight around 11:33 p.m. on the 27th. So if you are up late, you may be feeling dreamy. This is a really good time to meditate, doing any type of spiritual work, any type of ritual work. If you didn't have the energy and the capacity to do it on the actual full moon, which I never do, don't feel guilty. I usually do my full moon work 2 to 3 days later because the energy is just way too strong for me to do it on the day of. I need time to just sit in it and kind of see what the moon is even trying to tell me first before I just try to dive into a ritual. But that's just me. So if you do want to do some ritual work, this would be a really good time to do it because the moon will be moving into Sagittarius on the 28th. So again, the 27th is a good night to do any type of ritual work and to just connect with your spirit guides, do any type of cord cutting, whatever it is that you do that is going to be cord healing, that is going to be your period. So the moon is going to be in Sagittarius. Moon is going to be in Scorpio. Excuse me. The moon's going to be in Scorpio until 8:31 a.m. on the 28th. The moon will station void, of course, but not before the moon squares off with Jupiter at the 28th degree point. So there again we're again at this Cancer point. So the moon is very deeply thinking about your private feelings. There's definitely a lot of things happening in terms of where you are internalizing. Dealing placements with these degrees being at Cancer, really look at your house of Cancer, look at where the moon is in your chart and kind of see how this may be aspecting your natal moon, or maybe how this goes along with the themes of your natal moon. But you really want to just pay attention and make sure that you're not forcing time. You're not forcing your growth. You're not forcing things to happen before you're ready. You know what I'm saying? Like Cancer, this has happened at the 28th degree. You need to make sure that your foundation is stable. So some people may be trying to rush the process, and this is where this is again, y'all are building the house. This is where you are starting to add in the doors, and you're adding in, this is where you're starting to really build your foundation. You already have a blueprint for what it is that you're wanting to do, and now this is where you need to kind of go back in and add the details. So instead of you rushing through and forcing things, this is an opportunity for you to kind of take things slowly, and to kind of see where you may be pushing your ideas onto others, or where you may not be listening. This is a period where people are having a very hard time listening and taking the opinions of others and listening to the guidance of others. This is challenging for a lot of people. So just be mindful of that. Now, I did miss that the moon in Scorpio is also going to sextile Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So early in the morning, this is actually a really good time to make any changes. There's some changes that you can be making, last minute changes, last minute paperwork. So waking up early on the 28th and taking advantage of this transit. So getting up around 5:30, because this is where the transit will start to peak at around 5:30 and reaches the exact station at 6:40 before it gets to the square at 8:30 a.m. And this is the last aspect that the moon in Scorpio is going to make. So this is going to be lingering for us throughout the day. So you may have problems trying to make advancements, or there may be some troubles getting something approved. You may be get rejected. So rather than trying to reach out and connect to somebody around this time frame, you need to wake up earlier and kind of get a head start on your day, because there's a lot of favorable energy to make some changes that will come back and be able to support Jupiter in Aquarius and Saturn in Aquarius when the moon moves into Sagittarius early that morning. So taking advantage of whatever energy to complete something, to wrap something up, to get something out of the way, going to be key for you around April 28th. So waking up early, getting it done. Again, the moon is going to be trine Neptune, so you could be really sleepy. So getting a good night's sleep on Tuesday is going to be really effective for you when you wake up and take advantage of and take advantage of this moon in Scorpio sextile Pluto transit happening at around 6:40 a.m. So just take that into consideration, guys, because the moon again will move into Sagittarius, and will begin its waning phase. So we will start to prepare for that Taurus new moon, and we're also starting to get ready for this total lunar eclipse that will be happening at the end of May in Sagittarius. So pay attention to the energy. Anytime the moon is going to be in the sign that we're going to be having the next major lunation in, pay attention to what you are experiencing now, because this is a preview for the full moon in Sagittarius. So if you can start to pay attention to these energies now and document what is happening for you right after the Scorpio full moon, you will get a heads up at what is going to be occurring for you during the May 26th total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. So document, pay deep, journal, pay attention to what's happening, who you talk to, what you're thinking about, what ideas you're having, because this is what you're going to be developing during that Taurus new moon, Sagittarius total lunar eclipse lunar cycle. So just be mindful of that, folks. Now on Thursday, the 29th, there are again no major aspects, but the moon is going to be waning in Sagittarius. So around 5 a.m. on April 29th, we are going to see the moon in Sagittarius trine Chiron in Aries. So anytime we see the moon in Sag trining Chiron, there is some sort of healing, there is some sort of release, there is some sort of feeling confident about yourself, feeling hopeful about the future. And this is dealing with like your professional life, your ability to receive recognition and receive reward and anything like that, just because it's happening at that 10th degree point, which is ruled by Capricorn in Nicola's degree theory. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to where you are learning how to accept your power, and believing in your authority, and believing in your ability to show up, in your ability to interact and engage with the public. You're just trusting in your future, trusting in your long-term goals, trusting that it is possible, especially with the moon in Sagittarius opposing the north node and conjuncting the south node. When we think about the moon opposing the north node, there's definitely like this feeling of like not being in alignment, feeling lost, feeling behind, feeling like you are having to work ahead, feeling like things are not really just going your way, feeling like you have to catch up, feeling a little confused, feeling a little misguided, feeling scattered, feeling overwhelmed. So really leaning into the Sagittarius trine Chiron energy is just reminding you that like you have resources. And that's what the conjunction of the South Node is reminding you, is that sometimes you need to think outside the box, and you already have a skill set. The South Node in Sagittarius is really encouraging you to utilize your gifts and to lean on your gifts, lean on the things that you do well. Incorporate the things that you do well. Stop trying to, constantly reinvent yourself, and really focus on the things that you love, and the skills that you've already acquired, reinventing who you have already become, rather than always having to like completely start over from zero. It's just really just keeping moving forward and stepping into this future. And for some of you too, this could be like also like automation. Like you need to automate, you need to free up your time. This is at the 11th degree of Aquarius. So for a lot of people, I think this week is going to be really focusing on like automation and finding ways to set up a more coexisting system that doesn't require you to always be involved. And I know that's what's happening, guys, because the moon in Sagittarius later this morning on at around 8:39 is when it's sextile Saturn. So there is this strong focus on really wanting to get things done, wanting to connect with people, wanting to diversify, wanting to this is going to be beautiful for social media and connecting, and Zoom calls and meetings and anything like that. This is going to be an excellent time for you to really feel heard, and for everyone in the collective to feel engaged and to feel really united, and really putting in action a group project. Something is starting to take off. Something is now breaking ground. You could be in the next phase of launching. You could be giving a sneak preview. You could be putting out a commercial. There's a sense of forward movement in a project, or a sense of completion in a project, where now something can start to really move forward and something can start to move ahead. So just pay attention to where that is being highlighted for you. and taking advantage of that energy all day, because the moon in Sagittarius is actually going to square Neptune in Pisces at the 22nd degree at 11:44 p.m. Thursday night. So there could be like this sense of burnout. You have burnt yourself out. You had a really busy day. So Thursday is a day where people are really going to wanting to get active and wanting to start to implement those changes, but just be mindful that now the moon is waning, so you're a lot sleepier. Then you don't have as much energy as you did while the moon was waxing. So this is a period for you to really reflect and refine. So be mindful of that. There's also some sort of indiscrepancy, some sort of lie. Just be mindful that you're not exaggerating, that you're not over promising, especially when it comes to your business and your responsibilities, that you're not overcommitting, or that you're not someone may be trying to manipulate you, or there may be a deadline that may be coming up. So just be mindful that you're not glossing over the details. Be mindful that you are paying attention to whatever is really occurring in your life, because there is this tendency Thursday night to kind of gloss over the details, and to kind of just like sneak your way through something. So just be mindful of that, or to just be like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And it does. The details really do matter. So don't play yourself. On April 30th, we will see, this is where we'll start to move into some of those major aspects happening this week. This weekend is the most busiest. This week is kind of chill. There's just going to be a lot of focus on moving through that Scorpio full moon period. So on Friday, April 30th, we're going to see the moon still in Sagittarius until it moves into its, I don't know, where is its void of course station? The moon is in Sag until 12:16 p.m. So this is super important. Moon is in Sagittarius until 9:27. So the moon is void from 9:27 until 12:16 p.m. So the morning time on Friday is a little fluctuating. So let's see what the aspects are doing. So the last aspect is actually a really good aspect. The moon is going to sextile Jupiter in Aquarius before it moves into its void of course station. So this is a very good day to complete your work. Anything, sending out that proposal, whatever you were wrapping up on Thursday, you can send that out and you can start to receive some recognition for it. Or you can just kind of finish the work behind the scenes. Just because it's happening at Cancer, you could start to be talking to management, or you could be talking to PR. But there is a sense of getting things ready, getting something ready to launch. Getting something and feeling excited about it, feeling super excited about it, and wanting to chat with the world about it, wanting to chat with your private community. You could also be having a really good conversation with a friend. Some of you could be traveling. You could be coming back from a group trip, preparing for a group trip. This is a good weekend for group travel, especially if you're leaving on Friday. Friday would be a really good morning to fly. So if you are going to be traveling this weekend, I would leave out on Friday morning. Otherwise, you may have some issues if your flight is not before 9 o'clock. Midday flights may have some issues as the moon moves into Capricorn, especially Friday evening. You may run into some issues. Friday night is super stressful. It's not a relaxed Friday night. You may be busy running around, getting prepared, working, getting things prepared with your kids, or there's just some responsibilities that you have to take care of. You have a lot of, you're doing a lot. You're still really busy. You're still really active. Even Friday night, there's not a lot of rest this weekend, with Mars and Cancer being opposing the moon. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful that there's a beautiful period in the morning. But again, you want to get everything that you really want to get off your to-do list during this period, before this period, because the moon is going to be void of course through here. And then this evening, we're gonna run into that opposition with Mars and Cancer. So just be realistic about how much you can take on. Now, with Mercury sextile Neptune at the 22nd degree, this is a beautiful day, again, to actualize and bring something into tangible form. I can't remember, y'all, what time. Let me look at my, let me check it really quick. So actually, guys, Mercury is going to reach its peak with its sextile with Neptune at 10:26 p.m. on the 29th. So let me go ahead and change this really quick on the calendar. So there is definitely this sense of like, um, um, I think there's something happening that night too. Yeah, that's super interesting. So this is a good day to, like I was saying, it's a good day to get going, to finish something. And I really do believe that, because you're gonna be tired 11 o'clock that night. So again, that kind of goes into the same energy that I was just pretty much saying, is that this is the 29th is a good day to kind of wrap things up, to get going and to complete something, with the moon being in Sagittarius at those final degrees all day. With this Mercury sextile Neptune, you can really bring an idea into tangible form. So those details of feeling scattered and wanting to just kind of like skip over the pieces, this Mercury sextile Neptune is going to reminding you, it's going to be keeping your vision, what you want for yourself, your idea, your dreams in your mind, to the forefront of your mind. And that's going to be the driving, motivating factor for us, I think, all week. It's really wanting to manifest this into the real world, not wanting it to be a fairy tale. So just being mindful of that. But then we also will see the sun conjunct Uranus, and this is going to be happening. Let me check on my Google Doc, guys. This is going to be happening at 3:54 p.m. on the 30th. So yeah, this is going to be an opportunity. This is happening at the 10th degree point of Capricorn. So this is going to be a period where the sun is really bringing illumination to the desires and the changes that Uranus is trying to make. So all of these Uranus aspects, between Uranus and Venus, Uranus and Mercury, Uranus and Saturn, Uranus and Jupiter, the sun is now finally aligning with Uranus. And so what you are wanting to, anytime the sun joins forces with something, it brings energy, it brings fire, it brings this vitality. But you just need to be mindful that sometimes the sun can bring a lot um of over exaggeration. And so where Uranus really wants to break free and create these changes, it's in Taurus. So these changes that Uranus wants are they want sustainable change. Like, yeah, Uranus is all about these fast, it's drastic, dealing with weather and dealing with spontaneity and things like that. But this is at the 10th degree point of Capricorn. So Uranus is wanting stability more so than anything. Uranus wants long-term stability. So people are going to be thinking deeply about manifesting long-term wealth, especially with the moon being in Capricorn during this period. You're going to start to see a lot of people talking about becoming a millionaire and starting to become about their investments, and just starting to become more vocal about the level of luxury and the level of experience and the level of sustainability and comfort that one wants to have. I think more so than anything, this sense of wanting wealth that the collective is moving into is coming from the sense of wanting to be comfortable. So investing in what makes you comfortable, investing in the practices and the resources and the assets, like practical kitchen gadgets that make your life easier, practical comfy clothes that keep you warm, you know what I'm saying? Practical things, a practical vehicle. Like, you can make investments and treat yourself to nice things, but it needs to be sustainable. Otherwise, you're gonna be dealing with some issues with Pluto. When Pluto moves into Aquarius, and you're having to start to realize what the long-term effects of these changes are. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful that this is a day where you do have this opportunity, especially with the moon in Sagittarius, sextile Jupiter in Aquarius. That's as the last aspect before the moon stations void. There's definitely this sense of alignment and fortune, and starting to receive the recognition. So this is a beautiful day to receive recognition, to receive some money, to receive a promotion, to receive an advancement. This is just a day to feel like you are starting to break through when it comes to your efforts towards whatever this long-term sustainability, this long-term wealth, this long-term, what you're looking for financial comfort, for material comfort, for sensual comfort, all of those things like that. This is going to really be bringing that sense of I can do this I can do it moment. So really tap into the energy of Friday, and giving yourself permission to say, yes, I can, but just being mindful, because Friday night, you're going to have to answer to whatever responsibilities you've already committed to. So finding that balance, is going to be super important for us as we move forward. And then on May 1st, we are going to see there are no major aspects happening, but we will see the moon in Capricorn trine Uranus. The moon in Capricorn is also going to square Chiron, and the moon in Capricorn is going to trine Sun. So there is this sense of work and ethic and wanting to, just kind of ground into the day. There is a sense of grounding, and wanting to just kind of take a break. There is a sense of wanting to break free. So some people are wanting to really going to break from work. You're going to want to break away from always thinking about money, always thinking about work. I think people are really going to be healing their sense of separation when it comes to their personal boundaries and their responsibilities, starting to see where, their sense of self-worth and overworking themselves and rushing things is kind of interfering with the moment, really enjoying the slowness of this moment. Take Saturday morning slow. Saturday is a morning where you start the day slow and you just really ease into your process. This isn't a time to rush. This isn't a time to force. You just need to learn how to accept the timing of things. I think for a lot of people this week, it's not necessarily fighting against yourself, it's fighting against time, and fighting against structure, the inevitable. But a big thing is time, not rushing your process, not rushing your timeline, doing things right the first time. So Saturday is definitely a day of ease where we just kind of need to take things slowly and not force so much and not push so much, not have so much pressure on ourselves. And then Saturday is a big day in the cosmos because we will see Mercury trine Pluto. So there is a sense of understanding and ease when it comes to maybe releasing something or attracting something, especially when it comes to just your ability to take care of yourself. An idea, those projects that you were working on, there is a sense of completion and being done with something, wrapping something up. Venus is also sextile Neptune, so again, there is a sense of harmony and understanding in our relationships. This may be a period where people are starting to definitely create more sustainable relationships to celebrities. Being able to create relationships and connect to whatever it is that you're trying to aspire to be. There is a sense of connection that happens on Sunday where there is this sense of, okay, I get this, or there is this aha moment, or you have some sort of dream, or you understand something, or you can conceptualize something. A really good day for design, a really good day for shopping, what I'm saying, online shopping, or doing a mood board, or doing a vision board, something that really allows you to see and touch your vision, see and touch your ideas. Is super key for a lot of people on Sunday. So Sunday is a really good day to just kind of relax. Like this weekend, as much as the moon is in Capricorn, you need to learn how to really relax and not be so busybodied and not be so work oriented. And for those people who have cardinal placements, this weekend's energy is going to be really tough for you because you're really wanting to apply and get grounded and staying active. But this energy is actually encouraging you to do the opposite. The moon in Capricorn is going to trine Venus in Taurus. So this is a weekend where you really just need to kind of ground down this weekend and settle into your routine and really take care of yourself. Especially with the moon in Capricorn, sextile Neptune and Pisces, there's definitely going to be some secrets revealed. There's a lot of positive aspects, harmonious aspects with Neptune. So when it comes to celebrities, government officials, politics, when it comes to structures, when it comes to companies, corporations, anything like that, there may be some more revelations. They may be launching a preview. They may be sneak peeking a new product or a new movie, maybe releasing a trailer. But definitely when it comes to politics, ruling anything Capricorn related, there is a sense of revelation happening. The moon in Capricorn will conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. There's some sort of rebirth. There's some sort of new perspective. You're starting to see something from a new light. You're also starting to realize like where some of your decisions to scale back or to invest in whatever you just decided to invest in is starting to pay its dividends. So there is this sense of ease and harmony and things really starting to align and things starting to really work out, and having this sense of conversation, having a really good day just just to have healthy conversations and to reconnect to your overall foundation. This weekend is beautiful for that, just because the moon in Capricorn is going to trine Mercury in Taurus. So there is a sense of understanding early in the morning where people are feeling very loving. People are wanting to really ease into the day on Sunday. But just spend Sunday taking it slow, taking it easy, getting prepared for the week ahead. If you had a hard time, getting prepared and staying grounded the week before because of the full moon in Scorpio, the moon will be void, of course, from 10 until 3:30 p.m. So there is a sense of slowness throughout the day. So just be mindful of that. Sunday is a chill day. Sunday is a slow day. It was a very busy first part of the week. Excuse me. It was a very busy first part of the week. So now that we are moving into the weekend energies, the weekend kind of slows down and things are very harmonious. So it's a fun weekend to just connect and to reground and to prioritize and to get excited, to really just kind of enjoy. But Mars is in Cancer, so just be mindful of that, guys. Just be mindful of that this weekend. But overall, Sunday is a really good day to just take it easy and to get prepared for the week ahead. Please don't use that as a Sunday fun day unless you just want to. You may be tired, maybe really tired on Monday, just because the moon, Mercury, is going to be moving into Gemini. So just taking that day to kind of just really relax and get grounded. And some of you may be, though, some of y'all are going to be spending and splurging, especially my earth placements and water placements. This may be a weekend where you're super social. Cardinal signs may be super busy this weekend. So Cancer, Libra, Aries, and Capricorn, this may be a very stressful weekend for you. But for my earth signs and water signs who are not Cancer or Capricorn, this is a very fun, could be a potentially very fun weekend for you. So look at how these aspects, guys, are aligning with your personal charts, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and switch it over to the Canva presentation for the weekly forecast messages for the signs. And we'll dive in. Let me just pause this. Hey, air signs, what is up? Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This is your weekly messages. So this week we are in the Scorpio full moon week, right? And for my Libras, Aquariuses, Geminis, I really want you to think this week about your moon. Because I've been resonating so deeply with my moon this week, and I always find that I pay more attention to the trends of as if my moon was my ascendant when we are in major lunation phases. So I want you to pay attention to your rising sign, but also Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Listen to your moon sign as well. If you're not like me and you're not all air, which is crazy, by the way, guys. It's not always the best thing ever. So anyways, this week is super important for air signs to stay grounded. There is a deep sense of you put a lot of emotional attachment to what it is that you're able to accomplish. You put a lot of emotional attachment this week to your level of productivity, to your level of structure, and how you're showing up in the physical world. And although that is very motivating and that may be very inspiring for a lot of air signs, it can be extremely detrimental to you as well, just because you can't really there's a lot of red tape that you haven't moved through yet. So if you're feeling blockages, if you're feeling like things are not progressing for you as fast as you would like to in the first half of the week, I would really encourage you to be a little bit patient until we start to get to the midweek, where we get to those Sagittarius energies. Except for Gemini might find this a little bit conflicting, just because this is your opposing sign. But you just need to be mindful that this is also a period of refinement, and you are starting to receive the spiritual and the financial rewards that you're asking for. It just may not be happening for you in the time frame that you want it to happen. So a lot of air signs are feeling very rushed this week and are feeling very are feeling very literal minded. You're thinking about things in very literal terms. You're putting a lot of extra pressure on yourself to perform, and you just kind of need to take a step back. You just kind of need to accept that things are not always going to be underneath your control. And for some of you, you can't always intellectualize your emotions. Some of you are going to have to realize that this week, certain things you just have to sit through. Certain things aren't going to be something that you can talk about, or having a conversation may not clear the air. Sometimes the air may be funny for a little while, and it doesn't mean that something is wrong or that everything is off course. So a lot of air signs, I think, this week, with the full moon in Scorpio, with Mercury wrapping up its transit in Taurus, with the Sun and Uranus conjunctions, there's just a lot of energy on you focusing on being grounded in your you know in your in your processes, in your emotions. Like you have to find a way to stay grounded through feelings of adversity, because sometimes when you get into a rut, you stay there, you think yourself into a rut. So a lot of air signs this week just need to be mindful where you may be forcing negative thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Where, as something may not be extremely negative, it just may be a time thing. You just may need to let something play out. So a lot of air signs this week, I just want to encourage you to focus on the timing of your messages, the timing of the way that you're doing things, being realistic about the time that you have, being realistic about your bandwidth, how much you can do, how much you can actually take on. Being very realistic about what it is that you were saying yes to. Just because this week emotionally you're going to go through some waves, and it's going to be very easy for you to get off track and fall off balance if you don't have some sort of stability. And that's just going to come from just setting realistic expectations for yourself. Being open to taking things step by step, and not having to be everywhere at once. I think a lot of air signs are under this reality check that you can't be everywhere at once, um, that you do have to refine and take things step by step. So that's the biggest thing that I have for air signs this week, is really just staying grounded and not putting so much pressure on yourself to perform, not putting so much pressure on yourself to perform, and just being realistic about your bandwidth, being realistic about how much you can take on, but also not talking yourself out of your greatness either. I think some of you too could be utilizing, you know, what you have, your responsibilities, as an excuse for not doing something. And some of you need to better manage your time. Maybe you need to wake up early, you need to go to bed earlier. You need to, excuse me, you need to take away some of your phone and your TV time and put that towards other things that you want to do. So I think a lot of air signs are going to be redirecting their time this week and realizing where you're overcommitting, but also where you may be wasting time and where you actually could be more efficient. So just be mindful of that, guys. um Fire signs, this week is very important for you because you are moving into a period of rest. There is a period of stillness that you're having to move into before you can get to an action. Now, fire signs are going to have some major breakthroughs in May. May, the end of May, we're going to see the full moon in lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. So there is a lot going to be breaking through for you next month. So this month is a completion month. This is not a month where you need to force things, where you need to bulldoze through things. For a lot of you, this is going to be happening in your houses of ending, your houses of transition, and your houses of just emotional transformation. There's a lot of things transpiring from you happening right now. So it's super important that you allow yourself to um um to rest. For some of you, you don't have to, like, when it comes to money and when it comes to finances, like, you don't always have to be in the mix to receive. Like, I think some of you are learning your power, that you can draw and attract experiences to you. You need some income. Like, I'm not saying you don't have to put the energy out there. I'm just saying some of you need to start to be more mindful of some of the work that you've already done. a lot of the work that you've already done. Some of you have passive income streams. Some of you need to be thinking about ways to make money on the side, drawing things to you that do not require as much energy, that do not require as much effort. Doesn't mean I'm trying to tell you to be lazy, but I just know that, like, fire signs right now, you don't have to put everything, you don't have to overwork yourself to get a little bit out. This is a period where, like, spirit is really asking you to step into this sense of magnetism, trusting in the work that you've done, trusting in the systems that you've created for yourself. You've been doing this work for a long time. Whatever work that you've been doing this work for a long time. So you just kind of need to trust that the foundation that you've set for yourself is building your empire. While you sleep, it is your magnifying. While you rest, you are magnifying. You need to really encourage yourself to step into that. You need to encourage yourself that my rest is a form of self-care. That is a form of me investing in my worth, investing in myself, investing in my future. Me resting is me investing in myself. It is me taking care of my finances. It is me taking care of my future. This is happening in your houses of rest, in your houses of transition and stillness. So you do need time to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to be active to make progress. There is progress that can be made through rest, and that's what a lot of fire signs are going to be learning over the course of this week, and experiencing and receiving that some of you are going to receive that affirmation, like when you feel like you've done nothing and you're beating yourself up because you didn't do what you wanted to do. Same thing, like I was telling air signs, like putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of self pressure coming through the cosmos right now. And especially for fire signs, it's just really reminding you that, like, you don't always have to be on go 24/7 to receive. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you receive the most when you're still. So just finding ways to, like, ease into that, and not being so guilty, and not feeling so shameful, and not feeling so anxious about not being in the light all the time, not always being on go, 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 go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't always have to be on go. You can be very productive and still make time for rest. So that's something that is super key for fire signs, is trusting in your ability. I think this is something that a lot of you know, but this is a week where you just are asking, like, spirit or God or whoever to be like, look, I need for you to show me that what I'm doing is on the right path. And so I encourage you to show up and ask for that type of affirmation. Fire signs should ask for, I want physical affirmation that I'm on this right path, or that this rest, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. Like, I tell myself all the time, I want to wake up to money in my bank account. And the nights that I say that, I do. So for a lot of fire signs, it's not forcing that is going to get you there. It's actually resting and just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Doing the opposite is what is actually going to bring you the most forward movement. So take that with you guys throughout this week. And then earth signs, that this is actually a really supportive week for you. This is a week where you can start to get some ground, gain some ground, to gain some clarity on where it is that, when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to how you are emotionally connecting to your relationships, the way that you share yourself on an emotional level, the level of vulnerability, the level of attachment, the level of connection. There's a lot of focus on connection and communication, and wanting to connect with others, and wanting to utilize others' gifts and others' resources to benefit yourself, wanting to grow through the work of others, or growing through or growing with others. There's definitely this sense of self-discipline when it comes to how you interact, and how you engage, and how you communicate, and how you share your voice. So be very open to that. Be open to connecting and creating new relationships, and also seeing where certain relationships, patterns, themes that you may have when it comes to how you connect to money, how you connect to your sense of self-worth. You may be finding a lot of inspiration and support, and just encouragement through your friends. You know what I'm saying? Through the relationships, through the people that you have in your life. That is where your sense of self-empowerment, your sense of self-discipline, your sense of self-worth may be coming through others others reminding you, validating your mirrors, the people that you look up to, so don't feel ashamed if like this week is like, yo, I need inspiration, or I want mentorship, or I want leadership, or, being willing to be vulnerable enough to say that I'm learning with someone, I'm learning through someone, or, telling someone how much their work, some earth signs are even going to be like receiving testimonials. If you have a business or something like that, this is going to be a really good week to connect with your audience, to connect with your business, to get feedback from them. What are they feeling? What are they listening? What are their needs? This is a week where earth signs are really needing, I would say, to listen, to listen more than you talk this week, and to just be more mindful about what you're taking in and how you're taking things in, and being observant of the environment around you, so that you can use whatever information and data you're collecting. You're going to be able to use that in the next couple of weeks when you start to prepare and have this launching pad with the new moon in Taurus. So being trine or conjunct your earthly placement. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of the data and the resources, and the interactions and the things that you're seeing and the inspiration. Take it all in. Take note of it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to be super key for you over the next couple of weeks as you start to develop whatever it is that you're wanting for yourself. Right now you're gaining a lot of inspiration and direction and guidance and things like that from others, but very soon you will really be able to tap into that energy and focus on those things yourself. So just be mindful of that, earth signs, is that this is a week to connect, to engage, to listen, and to really observe, to take notes, and to really pay attention to what people are saying, what people are doing, and how people are acting. So feedback for a lot of earth signs this week. Water signs. So this water signs this week is really powerful for you. The full moon in Scorpio brings a lot of power to you. There's a lot of intuition happening for a lot of water signs. There is a lot of instinct where you are starting to sense where the direction that you're needing to go and wanting to be creative. This is a week where a lot of water signs are going to be experimenting and going to be exploring with new mediums, new forms, new ways of connecting, new ways of expressing themselves, new ways of exerting their power, new ways of showcasing their creativity. So this is a very beautiful week for water signs to start to become more aware of where you may be feeling blocked, where you may be limiting yourself, where you may be undermining your worth, where you may be undermining your value, where you may be having issues with your sense of identity or what you have. You may be struggling with where you are and what you have. And so this is a week where you are having to kind of step into your personal power and affirming that I am in the right place at the right time, that this is where I'm supposed to be, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, that I am worthy, that the right opportunities are coming to me, that I am creative. Like, you need to affirm, you need to remind yourself that you are these things, you have these resources, especially Scorpios. Like, this can be a very intense time for you where there's a lot of focus and attention on you, but it's not in the way that you really want it. You get what I'm saying? You may be getting attention, maybe getting a lot of attention, but maybe from the wrong person, and it may not be from your crush, or it's not happening the way that you want it to happen. So you're feeling a little bit discouraged, you're feeling a little bit irritated and annoyed. So a lot of water signs are having to what I would call see the beauty in things, and making things beautiful, taking the power back into your hands and determining what is good for you, and what is essential for you, and what is beautiful for you. It's really important for you to start to give yourself permission to express more of who you really are. A lot of you are kind of hiding behind the scenes. You're not showing off the fullness of your personality. So for a lot of water signs, this week is about getting in touch with your personality, getting in touch with your creativity, getting in touch with your inner child, getting in touch with this sense of uniqueness and individuality, and going back to the source of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Spending time with self, spending time nurturing self. Some of you may be thinking about having children. Some water signs are extremely fertile. Some of you are starting families, or some of you are starting a new passion project. Some of you are about to release something. You're about to birth something that is yourself. You're putting the final touches. You're focusing a lot on your unique creativity, on your ability to express yourself as yourself, and feeling comfortable doing that, feeling confident being yourself, feeling secure being yourself, and feeling secure knowing that your gifts and your what you give, what you bring to the table will serve you. You will be able to survive off your needs. Your creative gifts will sustain you. It is a real. Some of you need to hear that your craft, your art is a real job. It can be a profitable income. Your loves can be profitable. You can sustain yourself based off your passions. There is an opportunity that will sustain you and feed your passions. You can do both. And a lot of water signs are reaffirming that this week, that you can do both. You will do both. You are doing both. Those opportunities will find you like magnets. They will find you. But this week is about you putting yourself in the position to be able, you have to be comfortable enough to even receive them. So having faith, having that sense of trust that things are going to align, and building that sense of relationship with yourself is going to be key this week. So anyways, guys, make sure if you like this video, you found it helpful, that you like and subscribe, and make sure that you are subscribed to the weekly newsletter so you get any emails that I send out every week. And please, guys, make sure that you are supporting the work and become an Insights Club member. So I'll see you guys later. Peace and love. Bye.